Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had a splendid holiday, especially for my Chinese viewers or anyone celebrating Chinese New Year.
恭喜发财，新年快乐！
I probably butchered that because my Chinese isn't the best. And if y'all are not celebrating, like I said, I hope y'all had a splendid holiday. Got a lot of red packets from all your relatives. And today we're going to be talking about linear inequalities. This is part 2 of the series, where today I'll be covering solving simple linear inequalities. This lesson is going to be extremely confusing, so please follow along. I recommend that you get a pen and paper, write down whatever I'm saying, and even if you don't want to, I can't really stop you. First thing that we're gonna do is this. K equals to 3 minus 2. How would you solve this? Well, yeah, if you said K is equals to 1, you would be correct. And now you may be asking me, whoa, are you stupid? I came here for linear inequalities. What are you doing? Now what I would say to that is that, wait, trust the process. Because I'm showing you this so that I can tell you to think of the linear inequality signs as an equal sign. Well, they're not fully an equal sign because there are certain things that would change them, but we'll talk about that later. So now I want you to solve this. K is greater than 3 minus 2. Think about the inequality sign as an equal sign, and that will give you K is greater than 1. Now solve this. If you said K is lesser than 1, you will be correct. This is K is greater than or equal to 1, and this is, of course, K is lesser than or equal to 1. So now that we got that down, I want you to look at this equation and tell me what you would think. Remember, you're thinking of this as an equal sign. So that will give you K is 3 is lesser than 3. And yes, you saw this huge text, and I want to tell you that the variable, which in this case is K, it must always be a coefficient of 1, which means there must always be only one K or one variable. And in this equation, we simplified it to be 1K on the left side and 3 on the right side, and because I divided it by 2 on the left side, the right side must also divide by 2, so it'll give us 3. Sorry if I'm explaining this wrong or poorly. Back to what we're doing. Now we have this equation. 3 is lesser than K. How would you simplify this? If you said this is already correct, you would be in fact wrong, because we must take note that the variable must always be on the left side of the inequality equation. This means that since K is on the right side, the actual equation is wrong. So we must switch it. If you said K is lesser than 3, you would be wrong. Because another thing that we must take note is that if you're flipping the inequality, the sides, in this case it's K and 3, the inequality sign must also flip along with it. So the lesser than will become greater than. So the answer is K is greater than 3. Very, very confusing. It was hard for me to learn at first, but I know you guys can get it. Okay, so now look at this equation. We have negative 2K is lesser than or equal to 6. So the first thing we want to do is that we actually want to divide the left side by 2, because we actually want only 1K or one of the variable, like I said before, and that will give us negative K is lesser than or equal to 3. If you said that this is already simplified, you would be wrong, because then we have to also take note that when we're doing this inequality simplification, the variable must always be a positive coefficient. So this negative sign here should not be here. If we want to turn this into a positive sign, the other side must become negative. It's like a weird switcheroo. So then we'll get K is lesser than or equal to negative 3. If you said that this is correct, you are still wrong. Because when we want to divide it by negative numbers, the inequality sign will always flip along. Which means that this is actually K is greater than or equal to negative 3. Yeah, I know it's confusing and all, but y'all have to remember this by heart, or y'all are not gonna pass. Just saying, And now, after going through all of that, I want you to look at this equation, and I'm gonna give you the next few seconds to solve this. Okay, I gave you a bit of time to solve this equation, and now we're gonna go through it together. Me and you, yay!
So exciting.
So first, I want to move this -4 over to this side, which will turn this -4 over to a +4, because when we -4 here, we must also -4 here. Wait, sorry. When we +4 here, because this is a negative number.
My bad.
Okay, my bad. We must also +4 here. That's why I don't like it when people say that, oh, we +4 here, must also +4 here. Because then it'll make it much more confusing. I just like to say we move this over here, and the sign will change. And since this is a negative sign here, when we move it here, it will become positive. So that will give us -3k is greater than 5 plus 4, which is -3k is greater than 9. 5 plus 4 equals to 9. Pretty simple. And now, here comes all the inequality rules and whatever. So first of all, there must always only be one of the k, or any variable, but in this case it's k. So that means -k is greater than 3. We divided the 9 by 3 because we divided the 3k by 3. And like I said before, now we have a negative number, but the variable must always be positive, which means that to make this k positive, we have to divide by -1 here, and also divide by -1 here. Or as I would like to say it, you make this side positive, this side must become negative, must switch. So that will give us k is lesser than -3. And we switch the sign, as you may have noticed, because when you divide by negative numbers, the sign also switches. And this is the answer to the equation.